Yes, welcome back to another biology class. Today we are going to be learning levels of organization of life and its complexity. Levels of organization of life and its what? Complexity. Levels of organization of life. We have 4 levels of organization of life. We have how many levels? 4 levels. Number 1 is what we call the first level. And this first level we have the word cell. The first level we have the word cell. Number 2 is what we call the second level. And this number 2 level is the word tissue. Number 3 is what we call the third level. And this level is known as the word organ. And lastly we have the word fourth level, known as the word system. So those are the levels that we have in life. So every organism is either you are the system of the cell, at the level of the cell, tissue, or what? Organ, as well as system. So first level is the cell. Is that clear? And it's made up of 1 or more cells. Organisms at this level are made up of 1 or more what? Cells. And what is a cell? Cell is the smallest single unit of life. Cell is what? Cell is the smallest single unit of life. That's what cell is. An example of organisms or parts of organisms at this level are: number 1, we have what we call spermatozoa. You understand? Spermatozoa is still at the cell level. You know that one thing come out from the sperm cells, isn't it? When the sperm cells meets with the ovum, isn't it? From the woman. When the sperm cell meets with the cell of the woman, the basic cell of the woman, then you start having a human being coming out, isn't it? Now we have what we call red blood cells. Red blood what? Cells. It's still at the cell level. You know, red blood cell is part of the blood, isn't it? It's one part of the blood, one type of the blood. Now we talk about the ovum. What is the ovum? What is ovum? Is that not the reproductive cell of the woman that mix with the spermatozoa in order to form the fetus, isn't it? So all of them are still at the first level of cell organization, known as the cell. The first level of organization of life, known as cell. Exactly. So the cell is very small. So other examples are things like plasmodium. What is plasmodium? Plasmodium, spermatozoa, ovum, red blood cells. So all these are in the first level. The first level normally have very large surface area to volume. Large surface area to volume ratio for the first level of organization of life. Now we talk about the second level, the tissue. So how do you come about the tissue? The tissue come up when cells of the same structure and function. When there are cells of the same cells that have similar structure and function, they form what we call tissue. Exactly. When we have cells of the same structure and function will form what we call tissue. Cells of the same structure and what? Function. Cells of the same structure and what? Function. Example of this is the xylem. You know what the xylem is? The xylem is seen in plants. Another example is the what? Phloem. Another example is bone. These are bones. The bones are tissue. Another example is what we call cartilage. Is that clear? Cartilage. Now they also have surface area to volume. This is actually big. This is large surface area to volume. The surface area to volume ratio for tissue is lesser than that of cell. Is that clear? This one has the highest surface area to volume ratio. This one has lesser. Now we'll go to the third level of organization known as the organ. Known as the what? Organ. Now, when you have tissue, you understand? Performing group of tissue that come together to perform the same what? Function. They form what we call what? Organ. You see that in the first level we say that when you have more than one cell that perform the same function and they have similar structure, they form the word tissue. Now when more tissue that perform similar function come together, they form what we call what? Organ. See, from here you get to this one, then you get to the third level. So what are the examples of organs? Examples of organs is what? The eye. The eye is the organ for what? Sight. Is the organ for what? Sight. We have the what? Ear. The ear is the organ for what? Hearing. We have kidney. Is that clear? So these are organs. Now finally, the fourth generation. Finally the what? Fourth level of organization. Fourth level is when several what? Organs act together. They form what we call what? System. When several organs act together to perform specific function, they act together to form system. Performing what? A specific function. Is that clear? Example is what would like the transport system. You know the transport system is involved in blood circulation. Then we'll talk about digestive system. Talk about the muscular system and the circulatory system. You understand? So all those ones are systems. I would say that systems are made up of what? Organs. Systems are made up of what? Organs. Organs are made up of what? Tissue. Isn't it? Organs are made up of what? Tissues. Tissues are made up of what? Cells. Tissues are made up of what? Cells. So these are the levels of what? Organization. The cell has the highest surface area to what? Volume ratio. Followed by what? Tissues. Followed by what? Organs. And followed by what? System. So these are the four levels of organization of life. The cell, the tissue, the organ, and the what? System. When similar cells function together to perform similar function, we call them what? Tissue. When several tissue come together to perform specific function, we call it what? Organ. Then when some organ or several organs come together to perform specific function, we call it what? System. So if you look at transport system, you see that transport system has many organs that come together to form the transport system. Is that clear? Then when you go to the eye, you see that the eye has plenty tissue, different tissues in the eye. Is that clear? Then when you go to the bone, you see that the bone is made up of plenty cells. Is that clear? But the smallest is the what? Cell. That's why we say that the cell is the smallest single unit of what? Life. The cell is the smallest single unit of life. That's why when the sperm cell is still a cell. It's very small. It's a cell. But when it meets with the ovum, it forms the fetus. Is that clear? At the level of the fetus, it's no longer in the level of cell because it has metamorphosed into greater cell organization. So the 4 levels of life organization, we talk about the cell, tissue, organ, and what? Systems. Is that clear? So please carry on.